Hey everyone, Shaver 1000 here. Today we've got this Homelite, little weed eater, and I got this running before. I bought it at an estate sale for like 20 bucks or something, and it ran fine. Then I started having issues. It didn't want to start. It runs fine after you start it, but it doesn't want to start like after you run it and you shut it off. Have a hard time starting it, but once it starts it's fine. So I'm not sure. It's got to be something in the carburetor. It looks like it's going to need a primer bulb. I've got one. I'm going to get all that stuff ready for you, and then we're going to, well, I'm just going to go ahead and change that primer bulb. We'll put some fuel in it and we'll see what we can do with it. So stick around, let's work on this thing. Okay guys, so like I was saying, we got this running before. Bought it real cheap at an estate sale. Let's put some gas in it. The primer bulb, it's got some cracks on the inside of it. That could have something to do with it. I got a couple here. Got a brand new one there, and then I got this one. Two different sizes of thickness on the rim right here. But we're going to put a little fuel in here. We're going to see if we can see what's going on with it. I did drain the fuel out of it when I parked it. This is not actually the fuel that's in here. This is boat fuel. Took a little fuel out of the boat. I want to prime this. See, the primer bulb was working. Might not have to, well, I'm going to go ahead and replace it. I have one. It says 7 times. Is that 7 times? I don't know. Now this thing, to start it, it says you prime it 7 times, and then you set it down to start. That's your choke. And then you pull to start. And once it starts, you squeeze your trigger, and it takes it off of choke for you. So let's go ahead. Let's see if this thing start up. And that's what it would do. You pull long enough, it will start and run okay. But okay, let me get a socket. We're going to pull this plug out of here, check the plug. I see a little bit of leaking down here. Looks like maybe from the lines. It could be sucking air there. Lines are a little brittle. Well, that one's pretty much off. I don't know if I got lines for this or not. That small. Let me check, see what I got. It smells like it's flooded. But then we'll pull this plug out and we'll see what we can do with that. Okay. I'm sure I would have checked the plug before, but the plug doesn't look bad at all. It's a little damp. I'm going to check it for spark. And I got to look down in here. Sorry you guys won't be able to see that, but and yes, it's got plenty of spark. So looks like lightning. So we know that's not the issue. It's a fuel or air issue. Could be compression. Doesn't feel. Of course, these little things they're not great on compression anyway. Now, up inside of here, I may have to move you around here. There's a couple carburetor jets in there. Now I'm going to try to adjust them. It takes a special little screwdriver. I'll show you the set I got, and I'll move you around here so maybe you can see this a little better. Okay, so there's the adjusting screws. One's your high and one's your low. And if you can see, it's got a little notch in each one of them. So in order to adjust them properly, get you back up here on the stand. Oops, a little overexposed there. I got the exposure turned up a little bit because it's kind of shady right in here where I'm at. I got these. These were cheap. These were like 10 bucks, and there's all different kinds in here. And it shows you the ones right on the handle that you need, and it looks like I need maybe this one. Yes, so we need this one here. Alright, so what I'm going to do, get over here a little bit closer, I am just going to screw both these in all the way in. Then I'm going to back them out each 1.5 turns. You can go 1.5 to 2 turns, we'll get anything around it. Now when you screw these in, don't tighten them like you're tightening a screw. Just go till they stop. There we go. Alright, now we're going to start with this one. Doesn't matter which one. One's high and one's low. So we're going to take this. There's a 1/2 turn. There's 1 turn. There's a little over a turn and a half, and I'm going to set them both that way. 1/2 turn, 1 turn, and just a little over a turn and a half. Now, let's see if it'll do anything for us here. See, that primer bulb, shoot, I don't know if that picked it up. That primer bulb just broke, so it could have been sucking air. Alright, so now let me move you back over here. Well, I can keep you here, I guess. I just don't want to get in your way. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and change this primer bulb. Let me grab a Phillips screwdriver. We'll take 2 screws out of here, just right on top here. But yeah, see that? So it could be sucking air. That'll cause that. And I am getting some fuel around these lines, so it could be sucking air there. I don't know. Hang on a second, guys. Let me grab a screwdriver. Okay. I said there's just these 2 Phillips screws up on top, or some people call them cross thread, or I forget, my maintenance calls them cross heads or something like that. those there. I do see a little bit of water in that, and I don't know how it got water in it. It's been in the shed the whole time, probably just condensation. And the tank I did have drains, so alright, let's see. I think the other one's a good fit too, but I'm just checking these ridges here. But I think I'm going to use this one. And there's this thing, I don't know if you can tell on here or not. It's real flat here, and then up here it looks kind of rounded. That goes on top. So yeah, this is it. This one, well, first let's see if it'll fit down in this groove here, and it does. Perfect. All right. What I'm going to do is we're going to put this on here. Yeah, see, these lines are, they're getting there. There's also a down inside of here, I'm trying to show you without, I'm not sure if I got one of these or not. See, there's a little, these little tabs are actually valves that cover up certain passageways up here. Now, alright, make the fuel go in different directions, or wherever it's got to go, in and out. So that could be an issue. That diaphragm's what it's called. Seemed to be pretty pliable, but it's one of them things, you know, is it pliable enough? Maybe it's just stiff enough to where it doesn't want to work. Because I don't remember if I can't remember what was wrong with this. I'd have to go back and look at the video. Okay, it's squirting fuel out. Yeah, these lines are, could be sucking air. It sucks it in, puts it around through the carburetor, and then back into the tank's what it does. Okay, now bring you up here and let's try to give this a start again. Nope. Let's shoot some little bit of fuel down that carburetor. So, we're going to have to tear this carburetor apart apparently, because it run along as it got fuel down into the carburetor. And then stalling out. Okay. We're gonna have to take this carburetor off. So I gotta get me a Torx screwdriver. Yeah, these are pretty brittle. I don't know if I got any hoses that size or not. So let's go ahead and let me get a Torex. Let's take this carburetor off of here, and we'll tear into it. We get something to put down here so we can work on this carburetor. See if we can get this thing running. Okay, so it is the T20 flavor. Torex bit. You know, the star, a lot of people call them star bits, but they're actually Torx. Pretty long screw. I can't for the life of me remember what we did on this thing last time I had it running. Got a gasket there. Also underneath here, there's another diaphragm. That will cause it not to run. And I don't know if I've got any of these left for this style carburetor. But I'll check if it needs one. That could be the problem. When they start sticking, it's just like shutting your fuel off, you know. It's or running out of fuel, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, that's it's kind of like a fuel pump, all right, and it gets yeah, let's go ahead and replace this. I think I may have one. I'll show you when I get it out the difference. I don't know if you can hear that. That noise. That shouldn't be making that noise. You shouldn't hear that. So that could be a problem. So I'm going to get a razor blade. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to see if I got one for up here. I'm pretty sure I don't have one for up top. But this is one of the main ones here. This will cause it not to start at all. So I don't know. Let me see if I got this. This may be the end of this video. But let me see if I got one of these. And we'll get my spray. We'll clean this up. I'm going to check, see if I got any of these lines. That size, I'm not sure. Stick around, guys. We'll see. Sometimes, see, how they seal on here is right down in here. There's actually no seal. It's just the line is such a tight fit. And when these things shrink, sometimes they'll shrink in there and actually close off the fuel, but we know that's not the problem because, you know, it's getting up into the primer bulb, so we know it's at least sucking fuel in. Alright guys, let me grab some things. Okay guys, so this is what I use. Use one of these, a razor blade, whatever, to take these off. Just be careful you don't gouge that aluminum. A lot of guys will say, no, don't even use that. If you're careful, you'll be fine. Sometimes these will warp over heat and they'll suck air there. But this, usually they'll still run, but they'll run kind of funny. Now, I want to take this off gently because I want to show you the difference between this and the new one. I have one here I think will work. It's a different style, but shoot. Now there's a gasket here that I don't think I have that I got to be real careful to take off here. I had some gaskets in here, I must have used them. But anyway, you can probably see this is, hear that? And it should be like this. Should flop around. Nice and easy like. Alright. I don't think I changed this. Yeah, see, there's your needle and seat right there. And that's what this does. Pushes on that. It pulsates. Creates like a pulse pump. Yeah, I'm going to have to clean that off. I want to see if I can save this gasket, because I honestly don't think I have one. What I can do, sometimes what I've done is just cut around there and just kind of use that as another piece of gasket. It's so thin, it normally it doesn't matter, it'll still run just fine, but sometimes they don't. There we go, I can just rip it off of there, that's fine. Just remember which way this gasket goes, because it'll either go on the bottom or on the top. It's usually on the bottom, and then this goes on top. But sometimes they are different, but usually, but just pay attention to the way it came off. There we go. Awesome. Now we're going to take, make sure this is even going to work right first. Yeah, as long as them holes line up and that's the same size, you're good to go. Don't worry about these. You can actually cut them off if you want. If they're not in the way, I usually leave them on. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this off, because I'm gonna spray some carburetor cleaner around this thing. I'm not gonna soak it in anything. Numbness. Had a guy commented my numbness was from carburetor cleaner and stuff. Like, no, it's not. It's from my stroke. Yeah, I'm just going to spray that out of there. Or spray that out of there. Spray that out. I'm not going to mess with this one, because I know darn sure I don't have one of these. So I'm not even going to mess with that one, because there's no sense in it. If I rip that, we're pretty well screwed. So let me go ahead. I'm not going to bore you with this. I'm not going to take that out, because I don't think it's not sticking, it's not flooding. I'm not going to take that out and take a chance of losing it if I don't, if I don't have to. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to clean this up real good with some spray, just some spray. Shoot some spray in there, dry it off with compressed air. Oh, and I got to check to see if I got lines. I don't think I have any that small. We'll see. I might, but I doubt it. So I can, let's see, I can take these out. Now sometimes these will be two different lengths, so be mindful of which one's which. Sometimes there's a little spring in there you got to be careful about. This one doesn't seem to have any springs in it, which is weird. Yeah. Looks like the tip on this one here doggone it. Anyway, the tip on this one is a little bit smaller than the tip on that one. Other than that, they're the same, but I don't want to mix them up because then it won't run right. You'll never get it adjusted right and you'll go, what's going on? There's the choke, throttle. Yeah, alright, let me spray this down, see about them lines. If I don't have any, if we can at least get it running, then I can order some lines. Okay guys, so if you blow this out, be careful that you're not going to blow this off or blow a hole in that, and also be careful you don't blow that out. That's a one-way check valve. It'll let fuel in one way but not the other way. Like, I can't blow out through it, but I can suck in through it. So I don't have any of these lines, unfortunately, and I don't like to run bigger lines on them. So let's go ahead and put this back on. Some of these, they do go a certain way. This one will go pretty much any way you put it on there, because it's just a square, but some of them will, you know, have like a diagonal on them. And like I said, I don't need to cut these ends off because they're not hurting anything, so get all our screws started first, so that way we know we got everything lined up the way it's supposed to be. Before we tighten them down. There we go. And here we go. I think we got them good. Now we're going to run them up in and tighten them. They don't have to be super dyna-whopping tight, just snug them up, because these are metal screws going into aluminum, and after a while they don't like to come out. So you don't have to really get super tight on them, because eventually you're probably going to have to take this apart again, which I'm probably going to have to. And I still can't remember what we had to do on this thing. And this thing, there will be an H. See, there's an H and an L. That's your low and high side. So like I said, some of these will have springs in them, so be careful if they do, that you don't lose them springs. Because what that does, it's not real super important, but it's kind of important. It just keeps these things from vibrating loose or vibrating tight. Yes, they can vibrate closed a little bit, and your equipment will start running funny on you. And you're like, man, I got to keep adjusting it, and that could be why. I don't think anyone's been in here before me, and I can't see me taking them screws out. What I should do sometime, I should just go ahead and strip it clear down and throw this in the ultrasonic cleaner. But I don't think my ultrasonic cleaner has heat, but it would still help. But let's just see how it runs like this first. I order lines. I might order a rebuild kit for it, which really consists of those two. Let's go ahead and, yeah, this is the Pac-Man style. One, a little over 1.5. 1.5 to 2 turns will get anything running. There's one. Cars, motorcycles, it doesn't matter. 1.5 to 2 turns will anything will, that's a good starting point. Anything will start on that. this back down in here. A lot of guys will differ. A lot of guys will say 2 turns, but 1.5 to 2 turns. I've seen guys start at 2.5 turns. Then you watch them, they're adjusting it, they're screwing it in a good half a turn to 3/4 of a turn, which would be about your 1.5 to 2 turns to start with. Alright, now let's get this put back on here. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this off. I'll get this bolted on, then we'll try to start it. It's just, you know, just the screws go in through there, you put your lines on, you're good to go. So let me get this all cleaned off. It's looking nasty. Okay, let's pump our primer bulb 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna push this off. Let me make sure I got this right. Okay, that's all the way down. Then when you give it choke, it takes it, or give it fuel, it takes it off choke. So let's back you out here. Let's see if this thing will start and run. On that switch, just a momentary switch for the ignition on and off. You hold it down to shut it off and let go, and it goes back to on. Same thing. Alright, let's give it a little help here. Something ain't right. It's got to have a passage or something clogged up in that carburetor. Alright. Well, do I have these fuel lines on right? Yeah, because they're only a certain length. But let's try them. But for some reason, it is not getting fuel. Could have them backwards. I don't think so, because see, now the primer's not filling up with fuel. So that's not right. Gotta be like this. Huh. That's weird. That primer's not staying filled up with fuel now. I don't know. Let me check it out. See what's going on with this thing. Okay, so I pulled this off of there. Can you see that in there? See all that gook and gunk and that could have something to do with it. And right here. It could be blocking off passages. Let me get this cleaned off. Okay, let's see if it'll fill up now. Not really filling up. There it goes. Now it can do what it's supposed to be doing. Alright, let's try to hit it again. If this don't work this time, I'm probably just gonna have to get a rebuild kit. I might get a carburetor because I mean these things are, you know, 12 or 15 bucks. So, but let's see what happens. Okay, guys. So let's go ahead and see if it'll start now. Alright, so what I'm going to have to do now, it's pretty boring. I got to keep this running long enough to get it warmed up to operating temperature so I can adjust these screws, the high and low idle jet, or the high and low jets. Then we'll see how it starts after that. But right now that's what I'm going to do. I don't want to bore you with that because that's all I'm going to do. And then I'll kick you back on once I get it dialed in and tuned in good. Okay, guys, so I took the carburetor back off a couple times, and I think crooked. I think I got it. I found some more, little bit of dirt and stuff in there, so let's try it. Still might need a little bit of adjustment. Come on. I can't show you guys working because somewhere over here it spit the string out. But anyway, so yeah, let's let it cool down and see how it starts. Okay guys, so been about 15-20 minutes. It's all nice and cool. Stick my finger in the exhaust, no problem. Let's try it again. Cool. There we go. All right. So that's the Homelite, the Mighty Lite 26 CS. So, man, you guys getting pretty dark. I don't know what time it is, but we have something else we got to do. I got you plugged in so I don't go through my batteries. we got this thing. Ryan, the same guy we worked on his other one, he just got this one over the weekend. He brought it down and showed it to me, and we tried to fire it up. It'll fire, but it'll rip that. It won't start. It'll fire, but it'll rip that pull cord right out of your hand. So I think the shear key might be bad. So we're going to check that out in the next video. So anyway, guys, I want to say thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Shea Bear, the myth, the man, legend. Starting to get a little cloudy or dark or something. We'll see you guys in the next one. And bye-bye, and y'all take care. And be cool. Every time I turn the camera on. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye. Okay, guys. So like I said, this Homelite, we've done a video on before, and forgot my chair. We've done a video on before, and forgot my chair.